Morning, out today with Brother Owen. Last night we camped at the Eric Byne Memorial campsite next to the Robin Hood, which is just outside Baslow. Went for a pub dinner together, actually stunning. Owen managed to have some sort of battered and deep fried black pudding, which is healthy before a 20-mile walk, which is what we've got planned today. We're going to cross through Chatsworth, various other areas of the East Moor, and then back up as a loop towards the Robin Hood. It was an odd night in the campsite. When we came back after we'd had our tea, there was quite a lot of insect activity. Owen saw some sort of mass daddy longleg orgy on his bag, then followed him into the rest of his tent, and we were just sort of accosted by shagging daddy longlegs all night, which was an odd experience. Owen's given a maiden voyage to his walking poles today. He looks like a freshly born deer. It's quite cute. Trying to get down here. We're just walking through the Chatsworth estate now, alongside the River Derwent. There's quite a lot of civilians out, but not really a surprise. It's a glorious day. Me and Owen have actually had to don sun cream, which you probably looked quite odd doing, but we get sunstroke when it's cloudy and about 13 degrees, so as soon as the sun comes out we have to be careful. You might be thinking that this walk was going so smoothly so far, as were we, until I've just discovered that the end of my walking pole seems to have made a run for it and slipped out, and I don't know where it is. Well, in true spirit of camaraderie, like Owen has just said, he's abandoned his walking poles so I don't feel left out. It's that brotherly spirit that we have. This hill's steep. We're about 6 miles removed from the disaster of the hiking poles. Still quite annoyed about it actually. I only lost the bottom section of it. It came loose and it undid itself, and the bottom section just slid out at some point. And it was only, we'd done about a mile and a half outside of Beeley when Owen discovered that it had come out. So I went back to look for it, and I saw these walkers like 200 or 300 yards back down the path, and they said they'd definitely seen it a few hundred yards before that. So I went back looking for it and ended up walking all the way back to Beeley. Couldn't find it. Scanned the field for about 15 minutes, still couldn't find it, and then just had to give up and walk back to where we were before. So I covered an extra couple of miles for no reason trying to find this walking pole or piece of walking pole. And then when I got back to the GoPro, checked to see if the last piece of footage that I'd filmed of me and Owen had the hiking pole, and it didn't. And I wish I would have done that first before I added an extra couple of miles onto the journey that we're doing. There are many weird and wonderful sights that you see when you're out on the trail. One that me and Brother Owen have just seen wasn't exactly what we expected it to be. As we rounded the corner, we saw a group of young men appear from the trees, all dressed as Waffen SS, which was odd to say the least. And now there's lots of gunfire and artillery shells. A couple walked past us who said that there's some sort of battle reenactment going on, but it's still sort of brown trouser time round here. We appear to have strolled into the middle of some sort of battlefield.
don't know if there's another one.
Never mind. Oh, here they are. It is all kicking off on this battlefield. There's automatic gunfire, artillery shells. I was just saying to Owen that if I was here by myself, I probably would have ran away if I didn't know what it was. Bizarrely enough, we both uttered the phrase that I don't think anyone in the world has ever said before, but we said, seeing those Nazis put us at ease. And that was only because now we know that there's a battle reenactment going on. Just stopped to have some food. Got about 8 miles left. We're not doing that great. Every movement it seems to be followed by a sigh and an expletive. We're really not very good at this. So the actual route that we're following had us following that road behind us for quite a while and then cutting through in between some farm buildings. But there's this giant moor that we're walking alongside that doesn't seem to have any paths on it, at least according to the OS map or Viewranger. But we've seen a little track that goes up it, and Owen's made the executive decision that he believes this to be access land.
The sign's saying access land.
That doesn't mean that there's a path though. But Owen's made the executive decision that we're going to follow this track that apparently, according to Viewranger, just sort of ends in the middle of the moor, and he thinks it'll continue on as just an unmarked path to the opposite side where we need to get to. Owen's path is so Owen's path got much worse. We had a bit of a silent falling out about it and ended up walking about 30 meters apart in roughly the same direction. We made up in the end. One bonus of Owen's path is that we saw an ice cream van, which we made an absolute beeline for. There's only about 3 miles left. It should really take us about an hour, but current form, walking through the moor with no path, sort of taking it out of us. So we're giving ourselves about an hour and a half, 2 hours to complete it. The sun will still be up, our homes will still be there. I tried to get Owen to do his first on camera as a public apology, but he said he was too full of pride. Fair enough. And that is us almost back to the car at the Robin Hood. It's been a good walk actually. Just an incredibly bright sun and no cloud cover, even though it's not really been that hot. It's been pretty punishing. And Owen's fantastic diversion through wild moorland wasn't a highlight, if we're being honest. The route itself I'd give a solid 3 stars out of 5. There's a bit of road walking involved, but it's not bad. Owen's diversion, -2 stars. Owen, what's your rating?
I'd push it on a 4-star. My diversion to avoid.
But there was an ice cream van that we wouldn't have seen otherwise, so swings and roundabouts really.